Now the White House suddenly hawkish about Russian hacks. Again, the Democrats knew about this more than a year ago, a year before the election. Again, no proof that Russia hacked or changed the votes. No proof that WikiLeaks changed voter behavior. And now this, even liberal icons like Michael Moore warning electors that it's, quote, too dangerous to vote for Donald Trump. Moore is urging them to deny Trump the victory. It's all pretty ironic given that Clinton said Trump's questions about the integrity of the process was, quote, horrifying. Well, you know, none of this is swaying my first guest vote. He is an elector. He's with the Electoral College. He's Mike Banerian. He says he's been receiving death threats to change his vote. Now, you even filed a police report and you have Facebook threats. What are the threats?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on, by the way. I appreciate it. So obviously the divisiveness of this political cycle bled over into the weeks following it, and I've been inundated with hundreds and hundreds of letters to my house, Facebook messages, and some of those messages were death threats. I've had people threatening to put a bullet in the back of my mouth, people saying to throw myself in front of a bus, sending me pictures of a noose, saying if I don't do the right thing that they'll get me. So it's just been a very divisive, angry-filled messaging that I've gotten from people who want me to change my vote and just can't accept the results of the election. So,
Mike, you've gone to the police. Have any other of your fellow electors, are they also getting threats? Are they planning to change their votes? What are you hearing?
So as far as getting death threats, my knowledge in Michigan is that I've been the only one that's received death threats. Everyone else, though, has been receiving hundreds of these emails, letters to their house. I received 93 letters. Another friend of mine who's an elector received 74 this week. Every single day in the mail begging us to change our votes. A lot of them are very nasty, nasty letters trying to get us to change them. So
who is sending them?
So it's funny, they're coming from all over the country, and yet a very small number of them are actually coming out of Michigan. I'm getting most of my letters from California and New York. I think it's funny these people think that a Michigan elector should somehow be beholden to their voices more than the voices of the people of Michigan, who I was elected to represent.
All right, Mike, I want you to take a listen to what your fellow elector, Democrat Christine Pelosi, she's the daughter of Nancy Pelosi. Here's what Christine told my colleague Neil Cavuto about pushing for a Russian hack briefing for your electors, your fellow electors, earlier today. Let's take a listen.
How many are Democrat and how many are Republican?
We have 50 Democrats.
Do you want the Republicans to switch their votes, or what is this about?
I want everybody to look at the information, Neil.
You seem to be picking and choosing your intelligence data, then. You might not agree with what the CIA said back in 2003. The CIA missed the 9/11 attacks. The CIA missed the fact that India had nuclear capabilities in 1998. So why this?
Why are you attacking the CIA? I'm not sure what you have to gain,
Neil, in attacking the CIA. Why are you picking and choosing the data you want to believe from the CIA? Is this really about hurting Donald Trump and the credibility of his election and nothing more?
This is really about finding out the truth about what role the Russians played in hacking our election.
You do the same if it were reversed.
Mike, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think there's any precedence for electors receiving privileged information, highly sensitive security information, and I think it is really a ploy on the left to try to get us to undermine the integrity of this election process, to undermine the legitimacy of Donald Trump as president. So I don't think that giving us security briefings would at all be appropriate in this sense. And I also think that a lot of the claims about Russia hacking into the RNC, for example, or infiltrating this election are unfounded. I think the New York Times article that was published about the hacking was from a source that was anonymous, and they really had no other sourcing beyond that. So I think it's really inappropriate for them to be pushing for this kind of revelation of information for electors.
Mike, it's unacceptable for any government to be interfering and hacking, right? I mean,
absolutely.
So you agree? I mean, here's the thing: Germany could have an election next year, and Russia could interfere with that and embarrass the participants there. It's not good. What are your thoughts there? Final word.
Yeah. Well, again, I think that it is inappropriate for any government to interfere with an election, but it comes down to what is the proof that we're being provided here. I don't think that the people of the United States have been given credible information that Russia has hacked us. And if they have, I'm confident that we'll be investigating that thoroughly and that that'll be handled accordingly. But I don't think planting a seed of doubt in the minds of the American voters and trying to get the U.S. security national security secrets given to electors is appropriate at all. I think it's just trying to undermine the legitimacy of this presidency.